It's funny how expectations can reshape the way we look at a player. Because not long ago, Shota Imanaga wasn't just another arm in the Cubs' rotation. He was the story. A pitcher who arrived from Japan and immediately looked like he belonged among the league's most reliable starters. The command, the composure, the ability to control an at-bat, it all felt sustainable. But baseball has a way of testing even the most promising trajectories. Right now, though, the conversation around Imanaga is shifting again, and this time it's for reasons that could quietly change how the Cubs' season unfolds. Manager Craig Counsell recently shared something that might not dominate headlines, but could matter a lot more in the long run. Imanaga is healthy again, his mechanics are back in sync, and the velocity on his fastball is trending up after the leg injury that disrupted his rhythm. And if you've watched him closely, you know why that matters. But before we dive deeper, if you're the kind of Cubs fan who loves understanding the why behind what happens on the field, consider subscribing and leaving a like. It helps the channel grow and keeps these deep dives coming. Now, back to the story. Because to understand why this update is so important, you have to remember what Imanaga looked like when everything was clicking. In his breakout season, he wasn't overpowering hitters with pure velocity. Instead, he dominated with precision. His ability to locate pitches, change eye levels, and stay unpredictable made him one of the most efficient starters in the league. It wasn't flashy dominance. It was controlled, surgical pitching. And that's exactly why the drop-off last season felt so noticeable. The injury didn't just affect his availability. It subtly altered his mechanics. His fastball lost a bit of life, his margin for error shrank, and suddenly, the contact he allowed carried more damage, especially when hitters started lifting the ball against him. The numbers reflected that shift, but more importantly, so did the eye test. He didn't look uncomfortable, just slightly out of rhythm, like a musician playing half a beat behind the tempo. Now, according to Counsell, that rhythm might finally be returning. And if that's true, the implications for the Cubs go far beyond one pitcher's stat line. Because when you step back and look at this rotation, what stands out isn't just depth, it's balance. You have different profiles, different ways of attacking hitters, and if Imanaga rediscovers the form that made him so effective early on, suddenly the staff doesn't just look solid, it looks dangerous. Not in a headline-grabbing way, but in the kind of way that wins series quietly over 6 months. And if you're a loyal Chicago Cubs fan, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. What makes Imanaga's situation so fascinating is that his ceiling doesn't rely on becoming a different pitcher. He doesn't need to reinvent himself or chase velocity he's never had. His success has always come from execution, from doing the small things at an elite level. So the question isn't whether he can become dominant in a new way. It's whether he can simply return to being the version of himself that already proved he could thrive in this league. And honestly, that might be the most encouraging part of this update. Because when a player's struggles are tied to health and mechanics, not confidence or approach, the path back often feels clearer. Not guaranteed, but understandable. For the Cubs, that clarity could be huge. A healthy, locked-in Imanaga doesn't just stabilize the rotation. He lengthens it. He reduces pressure on the bullpen. He allows the team to approach series with more confidence in the middle games, the ones that often decide momentum over a long season. And those are the subtle advantages contenders build over time. So as we look ahead, the real storyline here isn't just about velocity readings or spring reports. It's about timing. If Imanaga is truly back to full strength now, the Cubs might be getting their most reliable version of him at exactly the moment when the season starts demanding consistency instead of flashes. And that's when rotations define who a team really is. Do you believe Shota Imanaga can return to the level we saw when he first broke into the league? Or do you think his role going forward will be more about stability than dominance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you see his impact this season. And if you enjoyed this deeper look, Don't forget to like and subscribe so you stay on top of everything happening with the Cubs. Let's go, Cubs!